All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Ashir, and welcome to this guide is on. Welcome to this video, and this guide is on how to set up science and your logistics screen for your science station, so you can more easily get your science going. This is part of my playthrough, the economy playthrough that I'm doing. So, if you want to catch up. The videos are available on YouTube, but if you're just here for the guide, that's okay too. So let's go over to the research screen. We haven't
It appears some Terran technology was being used to research teleportation over long distances.
so we haven't done any of the research yet. I haven't set up the station to do research. There is a little bit of setup, and there is I wouldn't say it's wrong, but there's definitely a better way to set this up. So that way your trade ships just focus on bringing in what your station needs for getting the research done. So all of that is done mostly in this screen. So when you go to build the station, you will need to have a container storage and a dock. And that'll be what everyone has on their station. I would like you to take note that I do have energy cell production on this. And energy cell production doesn't take any resources except for sunlight, which you can't put on a ship and trade with. So it just produces a whole bunch of energy cells per solar panel. So I have two of them, and you'll see that when you start putting production onto the research station itself, your research all of a sudden stops. Your traders will stop going getting the items you need for research, and they'll start focusing on trading all of the production items you make here. So how do you stop your station from trading, or how do you stop your traders from trading all of the trading whatever you're making here on the headquarters? Is very simple. It's pretty simple. If you are using this as a production station, this will make it so that your traders will stop trading everything you're making out of the station. So I wouldn't recommend using this headquarters station for any major productions, like if ship making or anything like that. Um, if you're just using the station for your own ships or ship making, that should be fine if you're not selling anything from the station. But this, you can set this up to limit the traders selling per item as well. So if you got a whole bunch of items, you can go through and individually set limits on these. And it's these menus that we're going to get into today. So I intentionally put energy cells onto this station to produce them. So that way I could show you how to set this up and block your trader from trading these energy cells away. So what we're going to do here is, since how this doesn't need any inputs, it'll just work when you put it on your station. It'll automatically produce wares. Now then, I am going to create the buy wares. Just so that I can limit it. Just in case my research, for whatever reason, decides that it wants to request more energy cells than I have, it won't ask trade ships to bring energy cells in to the station itself. So I do that by going into the create buy offer, unchecking the use station setting, And then going down to restrict everyone else, this will, the way I've set this trade rule up, is it will restrict all other factions but my own faction. And you can actually just set this up to restrict everyone, including your faction, if you want. And that way, not even your traders will bring you energy cells. Buy up to 1 will also limit how many energy cells anybody's going to bring you anyway. So that's 2 ways of limiting that right there. Then you also want to go into this trade rule for your sell offer. And if you want your traders to stop trading this resource and start focusing on gathering resources for research, this is the one you want to pay attention to. You want to restrict your faction specifically on the sell order. Now that will get your traders to focus on just buying the things they need, or the things your research needs for your station, and bring that to your station. And it will stop your trader from trying to sell energy cells, because energy cells are used for literally everything in the game. So your trader will stop prioritizing or won't even try to sell energy cells from the station anymore. And as you can see, the NPCs like energy cells, they like to buy them, so you can restrict your own faction from selling this. You will still sell the energy cells. This will help you get your research rolling, especially right at the start. And it'll also give you some passive income if you build some solar panels, so that's nice. So how do you set up these trade restrictions? You do that from this screen right here. Click on player information, down to global orders. On the left hand side, click on trade rules, create new trade rule. Click on the pencil mark usually, or that's to edit, I do believe. But we want to click on create new trade rule, name it whatever you want. These are default rules, these checkboxes. I don't want to do that. I want to restrict. You want two options, so 2 different trade rules, just like I have right up here. You want to check this box to restrict every faction, but you're allowing your faction. That's what this rule is. So this will be, you name that whatever you want. I'll name it that, whatever I want 1, and that'll be the first trade rule. Make sure to save or confirm changes, and now it's in this list. To make the next trade rule, go ahead and click on create new trade rule again. Name it whatever you want. I'm just being a little facetious with these names. It's kind of funny though. You could literally put whatever name you actually want in that. I've already made these 2 orders. I'm just naming it something else. I've already made the restrict everyone else and restrict my faction rules. These are the exact same as what these rules are going to be. Now for this rule, I want it to be the opposite of the first trade rule I set up. I wanted to restrict my faction only. So now my faction only is restricted, and I'll hit save trade rule. And now this is also updated in the lists. So I have one that restricts everyone else, my faction is allowed. This one is everyone else is allowed and my faction is restricted. So where do I end up applying these rules? You go back into the logistics view of the Grand Exchange headquarters. Specifically, this is what this video is about. You can do this for most other stations as well, or all the other stations as well, as far as I know. And I want to go to energy cells because that's what I have for production. And you can see right here, use station setting, uncheck that box. And now I can set this to whatever I want 1. That's the rule I just made. And I can uncheck this box, and this will restrict my faction, whatever I want to. This will do the exact same thing as I just had it there before, but that's where you put those rules into use. As soon as you close the screen, it should update, and then your ships will no longer sell energy cells, if that's what you set it to here. And only your ships will buy energy cells if you don't have production set up. Okay, and you're going to have to do that for each production thing you have on your station here. So let's look at one that most people will probably have, and that will be refined metals. This will more than likely be one of the most common things people have on their station as well. As you can see, I don't have a buy or sell offer created. I can create both of those. I can uncheck that box and just do the same thing. Or restrict my faction and just let the NPC factions bring me stuff. So this one, I'm going to choose to let the NPCs bring me more refined metals if I want to bring refined metals in. And I'm also going to restrict my faction. Let's see here, where to go? A little tricky to click on that. I'm going to restrict my faction as well for selling. So now NPCs will deliver refined metals if I need some. They'll also sell extra refined metals if I make some. So anyway, that's how to set that up. Once you start setting this up to where your traders will stop focusing on selling products you're making at this station, and they will then start focusing on bringing in items you want for research to your station. So I hope that helped you. It doesn't take very long to set up. I don't want any of these trade wares on my station actually just yet, and the research will automatically choose trade wares for me when it needs them. And right now, because those traders are coming in and buying energy cells, this station is actually making money and it doesn't require any. And it doesn't have a large dock, so cargo drones are not required either. I will eventually put cargo drones on here and maybe a large dock if I really feel like it. It might help. It will more than likely speed up research. But for right now, that's a little pricey, so I don't want to go into it right now. But all you got to do to get drones going, raise this up to however many cargo drones you want. I don't know why it's being weird. And then as soon as you start raising that up, it'll automatically put the trade wares in here. So cargo drones are what you're going to need to trade with large cargo ships, or extra large if you got a mod or something. So medium-sized ships and small ships will land on your dock that you've already made. You might need to make more if you're doing a lot of trading all the time on this station. For piers, for ships that dock at piers, so large ships and extra large ships, you will need cargo drones to trade the cargo between the station and the ship. So that's really where cargo drones are useful. Cargo drones also have another use, and that is the station trading wares that it's making to its own build storage. It's not really good at doing this, but it sometimes does. If you have a station that can produce its own wares or its own building materials to keep building the station, instead of asking for traders to come in and deliver something and waiting on them, you can give the station cargo drones, and then your build storage should automatically request and pull materials from the station to the build storage with cargo drones. So there's another good reason to get cargo drones as a bonus tip. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them down below. If you like the video, please leave a like. Helps out. If you want to watch live, come watch live as well on Twitch. I will be streaming for the next couple of days, especially when Kingdom's End comes out. So, looking forward to seeing you there as well. So, leave a comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.